Walking through America's largest indoor rainforest is incredibly immersive. It feels like we've traveled 4,000 miles to the heart of the Amazon, but there's air conditioning, no mosquitoes, and the dangerous animals can't jump you and rip your face off. The Lee jungle lives in an almost 2-acre building. Now, normally we don't talk about building sizes in acres, but the Omaha Zoo is different. This is the world's largest zoo by many metrics. It was also voted America's best zoo for 2024 by USA Today. I spent 3 whole days here exploring the zoo. Today, we're exploring America's largest indoor rainforest, the Lee jungle. Let's begin. You start the tour on these canopy walkways, giving you a bird's eye view of the rainforest. You ever seen a bleeding heart dove before? I gotta say, I'm glad it's called that and not like normal looking dove. Or else I'd be freaking out a little bit. 911, we got a bleeder. Send me your finest bird doctor, stat. But I don't know, bleeding heart seems a little dramatic. Why not like spaghetti stained bird? Across from that exhibit are the Asian small-clawed otters, wiggly little fur noodles. This women, the snackin', they're the smallest otter species in Asia. Fun fact, wild small-clawed otters, and I quote, smear their spraint at latrine sites. They do what with their what? Spraint is otter feces. I guess they get their own special word. That's usually not a good sign. There is not a word in the English language that describes how disgusting this is. Spraint smearing is thought to facilitate social ties and is associated with territorial marking displays. You know, just like how you and your family defecate into your hands and smear it all over your front door. Is very normal. White-handed gibbons are big swingers. In the moving back and forth sense, not the mommy and daddy made some new friends tonight sense. Gibbons on average are only active for about 8.7 hours per day. Your typical 9 to 5. You're waking up, you're clocking in, time to do gibbon stuff. They're swinging, they're snacking, they're screaming. A whole lot of hoopla. We're talking hooting, we're talking hollering. We're talking a lot of noise coming from the gibbon exhibit. Walking by and seeing it, very cool. Living next to it and hearing it at all hours of the day, probably not great. Gibbons are very territorial, and so these calls are how they let other gibbons know where their territory begins and ends. They're setting boundaries. My therapist would be very proud of them. Something cool and not at all terrifying are the free-flying bats that live in the jungle. We got Indian flying foxes and Egyptian fruit bats. Gotta say, I am team bat. They eat insects, they disperse seeds, they fertilize the rainforest, and I mean, come on, pretty cute little guys. It's just a baby. There's a little baby guy with a cute little baby guy face. Pretty cute. They don't really eat fruit, they chew on it to suck the juice out and then spit out the pulp. Their whole life is just one big juice cleanse. You would love hot yoga. The Lee jungle closes at 4 o'clock, but I gotta say, I think it would be cool to be here after hours when they're all just flying all over the place. Just remind me to wear my hat because we want them to fertilize the plants in the trees and not my eyes and open mouth. Daniel, why would your mouth be open? Because I'm yapping. You turn the camera on, I'm gonna start talking some nonsense. Next up, Borneo giant stream toads are native to, you guessed it, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. No, they're native to Borneo. Can we get creative with these names? Oh, I found this giant toad in a stream in Borneo. We'll call it the Borneo giant stream toad. Oh, sorry. I didn't know I was attending the world's most boring name awards. Fun fact, when these toads are disturbed, they excrete a milky, frothy poison from their warts. Love that. Imagine how many annoying conversations you could avoid if whenever you're bothered, you just start secreting a milky, frothy poison from your pores. I think these toads are onto something. Scientists, write that down. Let's put a pause on flying cars. And let's get somebody working on excreting milky, frothy poison from my pores. Thank you. Oh, to be a Malayan tapir just relaxing under a waterfall. Tapirs are most active at night and have to rely heavily on their sense of smell and hearing. They have very poor eyesight, which is the inspiration behind my new foundation, Readers for Tapirs. Most tapirs can't read. And I can only assume it's because they don't see that good. So my foundation will be providing reading glasses to all tapirs in need. Now, their eyes are on the side of their head, so we're gonna have to custom build every pair. It will be very expensive. But hey, I mean, if it works out, it'll be totally worth it. And I mean, even if it doesn't, I'll still get to write it off on my taxes. I mean, it's really a win-win situation for me. If you'd like to support, please mail your blank checks to my home address. Thank you so much. Frilled Lizard, nice try. Dinosaur from that movie, I saw that one time. They spread their frills to intimidate predators, make them seem bigger and scarier when threatened. They'll also do it for mating displays, because just like all other women, female frilled lizards want to date the biggest and scariest man they can find. Which is why I am 6'1" and always carry a knife. This adorable little fur donut is a black howler monkey. They are one of the least active species of primates. They spend about 70% of their day sleeping, napping, resting. Haters might call them lazy, but I mean, falling asleep can be very hard. And they don't even have access to Harry Styles' sleep stories.
Hello.
Not to mention they live next to this guy. Hey man, I get it. I'd be tired too. They've developed a complicated digestive system that allows them to quickly digest leaves, making them one of the only New World primate species to eat mature leaves. They probably developed that out of convenience. I mean, when you're too tired to go out and get food, you gotta just eat whatever's around you. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, just remember it's okay to eat a little bit of fiberglass insulation as a snack. Forbidden cotton candy. It tastes like blood. Nicobar pigeons are beautiful compared to their American cousins, the city sky rat pigeon. Their feathers are these metallic iridescent shades of blues and greens. Our pigeons are urine-stained concrete gray. A fun fact about Pygmy Hippopotamus is that their name is very fun to say. Pygmy Hippopotamus are native to regions in Western Africa. They are semi-aquatic and they rely on that water to keep their skin moist and their body temperature cool. Truly unbothered, moisturized, in their lane, flourishing. They mark their trails by vigorously waving their tail while defecating to further spread their feces. I gotta say, I'm feeling pretty bad for the keeper that has to clean this exhibit on the daily. You just go in every morning like, oh my goodness, it's everywhere. Spotted necked otters are apparently the itchiest otter species on record. It was scratch a clock in the otter enclosure. These little guys are native to the lakes and rivers of sub-Saharan Africa, and they are famous for being very playful. They love the 360 camera, so I guess they're big tech heads too. I do not know the rules to the otter games, but they seem to be having fun, and that's all that matters.
Run.
This is a plumed basilisk, aka green basilisk, aka double-crested basilisk, aka Jesus Christ lizard. We're breaking out the full government name today. These little miracle makers can run on water. Now, some would say that these lizards utilize fluid dynamics by creating air cavities under their feet when they hit the surface of the water and pulling that foot away before the air cavity closes, and that is what allows them to run on the water. But true believers know these lizards can run on the water because they believe in the healing power of Christ our Savior, Jesus. Can I get a freaking amen? Blue poison dart frogs. You cannot tell me that this is not sour gummy candy. The bright blue color is supposed to warn predators? Well, it's not working because you, sir, are looking like a snake. No frogs were harmed or eaten in the making of this video. They're safe behind that plated glass, and when I tried to open the cage, everybody got really mad at me. They're not born poisonous. They eat insects like ants and beetles with formic acid that they then metabolize and hold on to as a defense mechanism. It's sort of like how I developed my most toxic personality traits after I ate all that rat poison. The doctor said my organs were failing, but I'm like, nobody told us we had to study for this test. Next up, we got some soft shell turtles. Okay, soft shell, hard shell. Turtles really are the tortillas of the animal kingdom. Studies indicate that spider monkeys are the most intelligent New World monkey. Take that, George. Not curious enough. Hey, why are you seeking companionship from the poacher that kidnapped you and tried to sell you to a zoo? Have some self-respect, little man. We live together in these complicated social networks of 15 to 40 monkeys that then split up into smaller groups of 4 to 9 monkeys during the day to forage for food. Is very high school cafeteria coded. You get the jocks, you get the gaffs, you get the kids who like to dig in the dirt for grubs. Hey, stop that. I don't think you're supposed to do that. Our final animals are absolute beasts. We are talking true river monsters. Giant red-tail catfish. Nope, too big. Take it back. I don't want to see that. They grow up to 6 feet long and over 180 pounds. They are voracious predators and they'll eat pretty much anything that can fit in their mouth. Fish, crustaceans, small children that didn't do their chores. You know, that's sort of a peek into what my parenting style would be. Sort of a fire and brimstone father. If you don't do your chores, God's gonna kill you. Last and certainly not least, Arapaima. The largest fish was over 10 feet long and 400 pounds. No thank you. And the weirdest thing about these fish, they come up to the surface and breathe air. That doesn't sound very fish-like to me. There's something fishy going on here. Well, I guess there's something not fishy going on here. Hear me out. I'm not one to, theorize conspiracies. Let's say you were looking to transport illicit materials through the Amazon to the international ports. A fish costume's like $20 on Amazon. Seems like you could get a pretty good return on investment from that. We're gonna have to end this video before I start incriminating myself. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss out on an upload. We are living at the Omaha Zoo for the next couple of videos. Next up, we'll be visiting the world's largest indoor desert. After that, the world's largest nocturnal exhibit, including the world's largest indoor swamp. And then our final video in the Omaha Zoo series will be exploring all the outdoor exhibits and experiences to see for ourselves why this is America's best zoo. Stay tuned for that and more in 2024. Goodbye.